What is a soul? A soul is the individual existence of each and every cognitive thinking individual that has ever existed. Your soul is who you are, and you are your very own soul. Soul is the word that we use in the English language to describe what separates every single living, cognitive thinking being that has ever existed. Who has a soul? Humans and angels have. Do animals have a soul? No. Only cognitive thinking beings have a soul. Our soul is the part of us that gives each and every one of us our own individual eternal identity. Having a soul also makes you subject to judgment for eternal existence. Remember, God gave humans dominion over the animal kingdom. While animals don't have souls, they do each have their own individual identity. Are there animals in heaven, and will there also be animals in eternity? Absolutely yes. That dog that you loved and raised and then mercifully had to return to God will be with you in heaven for eternity. What is the role of the human soul? To learn and to teach. God's final plan for all of creation is the eternal expansion of real, true love. This plan includes God receiving real, true love for eternity. God will achieve the goal of receiving eternal, true love through God's community of selfless, cognitive thinking souls who know and desire only real, true love. What are humans supposed to learn? That happiness, peace, and love among cognitive thinking souls comes from being selfless. Our souls are individually brought into existence in this universe, on this planet, helpless and into harsh conditions to navigate for our survival while we're here. The human soul is created in a way and in an environment that makes us feel a need to be selfish. Babies know only what they need and what they want. The rest they learn as they grow. It's obvious that when humans are selfless and work together to get through human life, that things go much smoother. But that's clearly not how we always do things. Biological humans have needs and desires that they know have to be fulfilled. Humans also feel pain and the effects of the elements of our environment. We humans also have all the other emotions that come with being a cognitive thinking soul. We get greedy and we get angry and we feel fear and sadness. Having all these feelings and living with earthly conditions, along with other influences, biological humans sometimes convince themselves that to be selfish is their best means of survival and happiness. We sometimes believe and are sometimes taught that we must place our own soul first in life as our best means of survival. An unfortunate natural instinct of being a biological human is to be selfish. We were created to teach the lesson of why it is wrong to be selfish, and that nothing good comes for a cognitive thinking society when selfish is involved. Humans were also created to learn these things, but we were created to learn them the hard way. For cognitive thinking souls to exist together for eternity, each soul must contain only real true love for God their Creator, life and existence, and for one another. The complete and total opposite of real true love is selfishness. Let me explain the phrase real true love.
Look here, about time, Pastor Squirrel.
Please don't come back. In sermon number 3 of this title series, I mentioned that love is conditional and received some flack for that, so now I'll explain. I'd like to start by saying that God, our Creator, loves all of God's human and angelic souls unconditionally. I believe that it hurts and pains God greatly that God will not be spending eternity with all the souls that ever existed that God loves and created. The phrase real true love is virtually self-explanatory, no sarcasm intended. True love is real. There's nothing fake or manufactured about it. True love is 100% selfless. Again, selfish is the complete and total opposite of real true love. That which means more to one's soul than their own existence is real true love. God, the Creator, has unconditional love for God's human and angelic cognitive thinking souls that God creates. It is the humans and the angels that create the conditions. Unconditional is an open contract. Real true love is conditional. Real true love is not a one-way street. If you love someone or something unconditionally and don't receive that love in return, then that isn't real true love. Real true love is when two or more parties have the same unconditional love for one another. If you love someone unconditionally and that person doesn't love you the same way, that isn't real true love. That's why we say we can't have unconditional love for physical or tangible things. They can't love us back. God the Creator's final piece of creation for all of time and existence is the eternal expansion of the emotion of real, true love. This plan includes God the Creator receiving eternal, true love. God's plan to achieve this goal is through the creation of an eternal community of multiple cognitive thinking souls who are completely selfless and know and desire only real true love. Everything that was created that we know of, the angelic community, the universe, everything in it, and humans, were all created for the purpose of this achievement. Why did God plan and do things the way God did to achieve God's goal of the expansion of the emotion of real true love? I guess another way of asking that question is, why did God create that which God created in the chronological order that God did? My first answer to that question is that it was a perfect and ingenious idea. First, God created a multitude of cognitive thinking souls all at once in their pain-free spiritual form in their cushy environment. In spite of how these cognitive thinking souls were created, they still found a subject to disagree about. Remember, first, that we call them angels, and second, that they are all independent cognitive thinking souls, each with their own individual personality, just like humans are. God then created the universe, everything in it, and the human cognitive thinking soul to teach the angels about coexistence and real, true love. The human cognitive thinking soul is also learning these lessons, but in a much harder way. Getting back to a question asked in sermon number 2 of the Who Are We and Why Are We Here sermon series, why didn't God just create a community of perfect, cognitive thinking souls that would have real true love for God and one another eternally. This is exactly what God is creating, but this is the process that it takes. The functionality of everything that has ever existed has an explanation. This is, again, what I'll refer to as an ingenious plan to achieve the goal of the expansion of eternal true love. The angelic souls and the human souls are both independent cognitive thinking souls. Real true love is a contract between two or more parties. It takes an independent cognitive thinking soul to have and understand real true love. First, God created the angelic community of cognitive thinking souls in heaven all at once in spiritual form in their cushy environment. God then created the human community of cognitive thinking souls in the universe on earth in their harsh environment. By watching the humans and given limited direct interaction with the humans, the angels were seeing, learning, and experiencing new things. The way the humans were created and the environment in which the humans were created in was enough to teach the humans what they needed to learn. The human soul is created or expanded here on earth individually. Human souls were put here on earth to learn. We are here to learn real true love, and we have everything here on earth that we need to learn that lesson. The angelic soul was also created to learn that lesson. They do so by watching the humans with limited interaction with the humans and through their own personal experiences. The angels were also created to help God with the humans. They just didn't know that at first. God did, because it was all in the original plan. And remember, God knew exactly how this show was going to go. This is the genius plan that God created to expand eternal true love. Real true love must develop or evolve through an intelligent, cognitive thinking mind and soul. We humans must learn about real true love as best as we can while we're here. This is because cognitive thinking souls are subject to judgment, and this includes the angels. Although God does love all of God's created souls, God's self, unconditionally, not all of God's created cognitive thinking souls will exist for eternity. Judgment is the unfortunate process in creating an eternal community of cognitive thinking souls that know only real true love or eternal true love. Again, I'll mention that God promises all cognitive thinking souls in heaven and on earth that all sadness and pain will be abolished after the final judgment. Who of the angelic and human cognitive thinking souls will be judged to exist for eternity, and how is this determined? This question will be answered in sermon number 8 and sermon number 9 of the Who Are We and Why Are We Here sermon series. Thank you.